to Darts and Hearts special. As you know, we've got some special guests on tonight. A little bit of teething problem there when we come on, but so be it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the one and only Brad McClelland. Hey!
Evening, Brad.
How you doing? Okay,
not bad. Just laughing at you two, trying to sort this out.
I said that, Gans.
Did you say that?
I said Brad can see this.
Yeah.
He went, no, he can't. Like, Gans, he can.
You know what it is, mate? Look, it's these, right? You know, these mousses. So I went on, everything came on and that, and then I came on to start adding in that and putting the banners and that on, and there was no mouse, and I was like, where's the moose? And then it's charged underneath. Couldn't believe it, mate. I thought, only the night. How you doing, mate? Are you all right?
Not bad, aye. Not bad.
Good. Right, Brad, look, I'm just going to get straight into it, mate, and getting a few questions here. I cheated a little bit, I'm going to be honest with you, right? I typed into ChatGPT 10 good questions to ask Brad of Love Island, and this is what I came up with. But Gary's got a few of his own and all.
I've got a few of my own, so they're a bit raw.
Aye.
Ask whatever, and I'll answer however.
Good, man.
Mint. Excellent. Right, so how did you deal with being just a normal kid from Amble to coming out of Love Island and everyone recognising you and all the fame that came with it?
Do you know what? The first ever time I got off the show was I was going to. It was in the airport, so leaving the show, going to the airport to fly home. And I remember I was just walking through the airport as normal, and there was a flight from Manchester had flew in. So obviously all the people getting from Manchester coming into Spain. Mm. And as I was walking, I remember some female had just screamed in my face, like, it's Brad McClelland. And I was like, whoa, you like. And it was the first time I was kind of just like, what the really? Because I was like, before this, it was just you'd go out in the airport, you just, you do your own thing, and then all of a sudden now you've got like there was people looking at you, there was people speaking to you, there's people asking for photos and that. But I think it was one of them things. It was just like, just take it as it was, just do your own thing. If someone asks for a photo, let them have their photo, because at the end of the day, kind of like you're in that position because of people like that. You know what I mean?
Aye. Because like it's mad, like, because like I knew you before you went in there, you know, and I always remember coming up with your granny's, God bless her, and this young lad come out, ripped to bits, like to the back bedroom, and I was like, me and Doyler on the way back was like, that's mint crack, that, like, you know, like, and then about a year or two later, I see like he's gone on Love Island, and it's mint, mate. It's absolutely class, you know, like people from my area, I love seeing out like that.
People doing well.
Just people doing well and taking the chance, because, you know, like, I didn't get into it, and that maybe should have been the first question. Like, how did you even think about getting into that? What had you been?
No, I got so a lot of the times the message you through socials. So like, you can obviously, there's an application that comes out, and then there's also like ITV will have people that'll go through social media, and they'll just find people, send them a message, see if they're interested. And then even when you're headhunted, you still have to do the application. I think it's just so like the executives and that have got a rough idea of who you are, what you do. Do you know what I mean?
Also, they kind of like tap you up.
I got.
Jesus, that's a compliment, isn't it?
To be fair, I'd been down in 2019. 2019, I went down to London, and that was for season 5. I went down, I was going to be put in a bombshell. I kind of just, to put it bluntly, I fucked my audition up, because I was just kind of nervous. I was involved, like, I'd never been sort of in that environment before. And then
really?
The second time round, when the contacted us, like, when I got asked if I'd be interested in going on that, I was kind of like, right, I can play it a bit cooler, because we'd been going in from the start, so it's kind of like you're fresh.
And you've been there, you've done it, you're kind of walking yourself in, don't you?
I kind of knew the first couple of stages of it, but then it progresses on from that, and then everything else is a first timer.
Absolutely, man.
I know where you're coming from, because, you know, like, A lot of people now have an act like you know. I was in there the Homerside Road. Did you see that, Brad, or not?
Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, you tinker. Go on then, Gary.
So, Brad, obviously you come across like a really nice, genuine guy, but obviously coming out, I'm sure it would have been quite easy to let like the fame like get you like spiral out of control sort of thing, and for it to like take over. But obviously, you've obviously got like good people around you and like a really good character to maintain that to so it doesn't like get to your head and where you kind of like just spin out of control, like with the money, the fame. I'm not saying like that's what, but some people you've seen like in the publicity and stuff, haven't you? Like in the press where it's like ruined lives.
Gets to the head.
Yeah.
How do you control that? How do you manage it?
Do you know what? If I'm completely honest with you, I'm not that type of person. Two, if I was,
I can see that. That's why, like,
my own pals will have shot us down. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I try to be someone I'm not and try to act a certain way, my pals would have hammered us.
Aye.
They'll have been the first. They'll have been the first one. Which again, I'm not that person. But if I'd attempted to be that person, I'd have been hammered by my mates. So just even for that alone, it's just far better me just staying grounded and doing my own thing, like being me.
Is it hard though? Is it hard? Because obviously you've got like people like putting you like, can you do this? Can you do that sort of thing?
No, because it depends on which way you want to look at it. Like, so I took everything as like leaving there. I took being there and leaving there. Everything was an experience. Like, and for me, it's like you've got to be stupid if you think that sort of level of fame is gonna last, because it doesn't. Yes, you still get recognised maybe years down the line, but that initial fame, like that, the 6 months to a year, or sorry, shall I say, with Love Island, the fame until the next one's out.
Aye.
It's mental. Everyone knows you. Brands and people and businesses, everyone wants you to be part of them.
There and then.
Aye, and then, but it's obvious, like, it depends. Like I say, I looked in at a way of like, I'm going to try and do as much as I can what I get offered, because down the line that's not going to be offered. And already like I felt like I haven't been. When did I get out? It was like summer, 2.5 years. It was 2.5 years ago, and already it's right flat. Yes, you still get recognised now and again, not as much as you first did, but it's understandable. It's short-term fame, and some people do get it, like let it get at their heads, and you can kind of tell with certain people. But
yeah, that's a good understanding.
It's a hard industry. Like, it's a hard industry. Like,
but it's saturated. It's saturated. Like, it's saturated now though, because I remember a few years ago when like Love Island on the like season 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like coming off of that and onto social media like Instagram, they're automatically like big time because there's not many people doing it. Whereas now you've got obviously more seasons of Love Island. You've got programs like Too Hot to Handle, which is massive, I think, in America and on Netflix. But then you've got other stuff, like you've got random people just becoming now famous through TikTok. So it's like there's that many different ways and easy ways to become known. I wouldn't say famous. I wouldn't class myself as famous. It's become known. There's that many easy ways. Therefore, it's like, I don't know.
You're famous, though. You're famous.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when we were searching you up and you put Brad McClelland in the thingy, you're all over, Google. And
there's only Pitt in front of him, isn't there?
There's only Brad Pitt. So you're famous. But I see what you're saying, like, so initially, and this is probably the problem with a lot of celebrities and why they have a little bit of problem is because, yes, like, you started off in Love Island and you would have getting paid for it and stuff. But, like, and then when you come out, most likely you'll get like modeling contracts and stuff like that. But like for me, people say, "Oh, do you get paid much for your acting?" And I say, "Not really. I couldn't rely on it, but like it's enough to take us on holiday when I get it." So everybody still knows you, and you're still like famous. You probably can't even get to the shop without somebody recognizing you. But behind closed doors, it's quite tough, isn't it?
It is, because it's. And I think I've said this before. I had this conversation with someone else on a podcast I've done. It was basically about how a lot of people, I think, feel pressure going on a show like that, and then when obviously all your deals and everything start wearing down and stuff like that, at the end of the day, you need money, and when you're not getting it from them brands, you have to go back to normal work. And I think, well, a lot of people, I think the majority of people that go on Love Island will have to. Obviously, some of them, it takes off for them, and it's obviously good, but it doesn't happen for everyone. And I think some people think there's a lot of pressure on really making something because they went on that.
If I remember rightly, like I didn't really watch Love Island, I'm gonna be honest with you, but when you went on, we kind of did, and you kind of, it was like a volunteer to come off, didn't you?
Aye.
Because, honestly, I'm not bad. What you say, you put a Geordie in any reality show and they win it. I think if you had been selfish, right? But obviously you're not that kind of person. If you'd been selfish, I think you probably would have went on to win that like, because Geordies are loved by everybody in the country. It's the greatest place on earth. Doesn't matter what reality show they're going.
I do agree with the fact that like Geordies, Northerners, this, that, and the other, like Northumbrians. It's like, no, I get hammered. You're not a Geordie, you're not from Newcastle, so I didn't claim I'm a Geordie. But no, but it is right. I think when people, I think the problem is with like Northern, and I mean Northern is like Newcastle area and further afield, not like how like my girlfriend would class herself as Northern, 2.5 hours out of me. But like they always do seem well, and I think it's because normally they're just true to themselves, and you can see it. But it's hard on one of them shows because you only see certain points. So unless you're on for,
there's in there, isn't there, as well?
You are.
There's like a lot of big characters in there, isn't there? And they just show you the bits that you want to see, not the bits that like maybe take you doing it a little bit.
I mean, unless you're on like I was only on 2.5 weeks, so it's like in that 2.5 weeks, you're not going to see the full part of me. Whereas if you had the full 8, then you might have seen different parts where it's like, but you know, it's one of them things. It's like,
do you regret any of it at all? And like, or are you happy like you've done it? And like obviously, and now like obviously with Daisy and stuff, like, were you ever tempted by like the All-Star thing or not? Like, had you not have been, would you put yourself back in that like sort of position?
If I was single, then 100% I would go back in because of the fact of
you've been before.
But it's the experience. Like, people will be like, oh, you'll go. Everyone, you see, I've seen loads. As soon as the new cast were like for the All Stars were announced, everyone say, oh, they've run out of money. They're going in for a new deal. They're just going in because they want to get more famous. They're just going in for this. They're going in for that. And it's like, no, a lot of them will be going in for the experience because the experience of it is class, and you can't get that experience anywhere else. It's like, it's not like you're just going on a holiday or like going to like a foreign country where the weather's good and stuff like that. The whole experience of it, you're not getting that anywhere else. So it's like, for me, the first time round was for an experience. The second time, if I ever went on again, that would be for the experience. But again, obviously, I went on that show and then I've obviously come off, and it wasn't like, going on that show helped us find my partner now, but it wasn't obviously on the show. But again, All Stars for me wasn't the thing because obviously I'm in it like already in a relationship.
No, I totally understand that. But like obviously your partner is Daisy, and this is a football show, so we're gonna get to the next question. So obviously Daisy is Harry Maguire's sister. For anyone out there that didn't know that, so obviously you know Harry like on a very like personal level.
Yeah.
Obviously, it must have been really difficult for him, us being massive Man United fans, being for the biggest club in the world in our eyes. He was the club captain, and to see him like being phased out the way he had been, and then just for him to bounce back the way that he has, obviously, and then that injury against Bayern Munich, which I think was a niggle from the game before, but just for him to come back and then like. He got a stand ovation when he went up against Bayern Munich. He must have been like so player of the month. He must have been like so proud of him, like his family and his close friends and stuff.
It's like I can't. Like, he's a spot on lad, and the whole family is like. The thing is, like, I think when people have got that whole, because I would say for Harry, his level of fame is just way beyond, like, again, like you've just said, he plays for the biggest club in world football, and it's like, so he's known globally, and not just Harry. I just think every pro footballer that's out there at the big standard, everyone will have their own thoughts and opinions on them, but that's all they are, their thoughts and opinions.
Yeah.
Like, Harry's just he's a normal, like, at the end of the day, he's a normal lad that just enjoyed playing football, and he was good at it, got to a level that he is. Hasn't changed him. He's spot on. Canny is out. Just when you're inside of his, like, personal life, he's just like
not one of the lads.
I just like one of the lads. Like,
man,
he messes about. He has a laugh. He doesn't take himself too serious. But then as soon as he's on football wise, that's when the professional comes out. I think he's shown. I think going from, like what you stated there, like the amount of shit he was getting and stuff like that, and to still never, like,
he never gave up, did he? Because I think he had offers, didn't he? Like, it was well documented that there was offers out there, and he consistently said, "I want to be at Man United."
Massive rumours for West Ham. He had a point to prove, didn't he? And he's proved it.
Like,
he's proved it.
That's
like
testament of his character, though, isn't it?
Absolutely, and we've missed him.
We've missed him massively.
You know, so like, honestly, mate, I think I've messaged you a couple of times, and like when he's played and when he hasn't played and stuff, and like we do wish him the very best. Like, at the end of the day, what as Manchester United fans, I'm not sitting here and being a hypocrite and say I don't
we'll criticise them. Of course we have.
Because what you cannot have, right, is lack of trying. Like, that's what we kind of get is when it's our body language and the lack of trying. You know, like, you expect them to at least try. Harry Maguire, that's what he has always done. Doesn't matter if it's for England, Leicester, Hull, United. He's always left everything on the pitch. So I'm out with the one that
it makes a difference, sir, because I think as well, like, and I think with the problem with Man U at the minute is, yes, not all players are always on form. They'll have them patches where they'll be off form, this, that, and the other. But I think as Man U fans and as just football fans in general, the difference between some of the players is when players are out of form, as long as they're actually still putting 100% in, I think that's all you can ask for. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no,
you look at some of the best players when they might not, like some of the best forwards, they might not score, they might not even have a shot in the game. But if they're doing the doggy work and they're working hard, and you can see, like, regardless of what people think they should be doing,
like the same as me, Melly, yourself, they're just the same as us, just another lad that's living his dream. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I think people forget that a lot of these is just they are just like young lads. Like, some of them, like, even from 18-year-old up to 21, and they're getting absolutely hounded off grown blokes, and you're thinking they're just young lads. These, like, some of them aren't even old enough to be like. And you do get carried away at times, but I think like Harry, because even when he wasn't like playing at his best for Man United, and he was getting criticism, he was like, I fair enough was said he was making mistakes, but he was going away to play for England, and he'd be the best player on the pitch. Like, just leading that line, like,
and everybody was criticising him, but like,
we'll take him at Newcastle, we'll take him here.
Yeah, we assured professionalism. But
He did.
Brad, since we're talking about Manchester United, right? I've got somebody in the background here who's just named his band after Manchester United. Can we welcome to the stage, please? Chris Hollywood.
All right, lads. How you doing? You all right?
Not bad, you?
Not too bad.
Hi, Chris, you all right?
All right, man. Not bad.
Chris,
Brad, you all right, man?
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
You play football?
How's the... Nah, just Chester. How's the ankle hanging? All right?
It's all right. That was the last time I seen you, wasn't it?
Aye. I did tell you.
I was gonna mention that, Brad. Does your Daisy, she does a lot for charity and all that? Is it soccer aid she does?
So Daisy helps organise soccer aid.
Aye. Wait, Chris Dobey, I can not get Chris Dobey on.
I'm a bit out of weight for that.
I think, to be fair, I've said before, I said he can play football. I just think need to win one of them darts championships first.
Aye, definitely. I came close the other week.
On our wall watching.
Aye. Hey, he'll get there, man.
What's happening with pressure there, you know, like with Harry Maguire and that, and you know, anybody not, but standing on that stage, Chris, you know, like in front of all them fans and stuff, and I can imagine when you know, when the confidence is flowing, oh Jesus, I imagine when the confidence is flowing that it's great, but then on the other hand, when it isn't, like how do you handle that, Chris?
It's just, I think I've grown into it. Obviously, I was nervous when I first started. Obviously, didn't know what to do with a walk on, and just once you get up on that stage, you've just got to try and focus and blank everything out behind you. And I think I've learned in the last few years now. I've learned to do that well, and obviously blew it again at the World Championships. But nah, like I say, I'm putting myself in them positions now. It's just trying to close them out, and hopefully I can sort it one day and get that world title.
You think momentum's big with darts?
Definitely, 100%. I think obviously it's believing in yourself as well, knowing that you can do it in the big moments. But it's a massive part of it. It's just holding your nerve, you know.
It just seems like even in that last championship, it was like there was so many people would go like yourself 4 ahead.
Aye.
And then as soon as a couple of darts start missing and your opposition start hitting, the momentum switches. And I imagine that is a mental mind game when you're sat thinking, oh, come on.
It is. Especially, obviously, if I've played Rob in big TV games before, and obviously I was 8-2 up on him in the match play in Blackpool a few years back and lost that 11-9. So I just try to switch on and try not to think of that when I was 4-0 up. Obviously, he's come back 4-1, 4-2, and you automatically just think, bloody hell, he's done it before. He can do it again. So you just try and live with that pressure as well as trying to focus on trying to get that game drained out, you know.
I believe that if that break hadn't come when it come, you were through. I think that break.
I probably should have stayed on at the break light instead of going off, like. But
can you stay on? Like, are you able to stay on?
You can stay on. You can. It's up to you. It's your choice.
Luke Littler, like obviously the new kid on the block, like he I've noticed he's done that. Like if he's been like unhappy with like a few of his starts and stuff, and you see him, he just stops and he's just like boom, 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 and he just stops up there and waits, doesn't he?
He does it quite a bit, like.
I mean, he'll not be a surprise to you, like, because obviously I think you're saying with the same management, is that right?
Same management stable. Obviously I've known him for quite a few years. Obviously he's only 16, but I've known him since he was first coming on the scene, 12, 13, and obviously he was a big talent then, and the world's seen his talent now. And like I say, I think a few interviews I had a few years back, they were tipping who's the up and coming one and who was a future world champion, and he was the name that I gave them, and it's proved us right, and he'll definitely go on to win probably multiple world titles.
So we'll rewind, right, Chris, to the World Championship. You're 4-0 up, you go up and win 5-0, and you come to meet Luke Littler in the next round. Do you beat him?
Of course, I think I go in believing I can win every game I play. I think experience, obviously he played well. Rob didn't play well at all in the semi-final. I definitely would have given him a game. And I think, obviously, being same management, I think probably could have gotten to him. But I've been in them positions before. It's just trying to get that winning over the winning line. And obviously, I think, if I'd have gotten that, I would have took massive confidence by bettering what I'd done last year. And I think, obviously, it was mine for the taking there because I played consistent all competition. I had over 100. Well, I think I was running on 102, 103 average for the tournament. So it's one of them.
that's what I was going to touch on. I was going to say, obviously, other than Luke Humphrey in the final, because he didn't reach anywhere near like the sort of averages that you did throughout the tournament. Like you were way higher, even like up until like that fifth set against Rob Cross. I think your last set, like you were like 116 to 120 or something. But then it just like it plummeted up, like as if like someone had like kind of got you. But I think like on the back of that, you were the only one that could have beat Luke Humphreys in that final, because you were the only. I think, did he average like somewhere between like 105 and like 100 in that final, and you were the only one through the whole tournament. It was literally just a 5-set gap. But not many people will know leading up to the final. They kept touching on the World Grand Prix, where, like, obviously he beat you and he come back, but not many people know that you beat him like the 4 games leading up to that.
Every game throughout the year.
The momentum was with you, really, but people kept looking back to that because it was like a championship.
Yeah.
So you must have had like
somebody's been doing that homework over, yeah.
You must have like confidence though, but they kept reflecting back to the World Grand Prix, whereas you must have been looking at the 4 previous and thinking, well,
of course, you're only as, I keep saying, you're only as good as your last game, you know. So that's just my motto. And obviously, my last match now, throwing away a 4-0 lead, I'll just have that brain in my head. And obviously, I've got Andrew Gilden in the Masters in a couple of weeks' time, and that'll just be my focus and try not to let that happen again.
Don't be personally, honestly, mate. I'm not like licking arse now, but you're not far away now. Like, you know, like every year you can just see you progressing. And I honestly thought, had you won that game, then you were definitely in the final. I can't predict how it would have went in the final, but with the momentum that you had, I didn't think it's far away. Like, honestly, didn't. So, you know, it's 20 feet for you to even get on that stage. You know what I mean? Never alone.
Like, pressure must be unbelievable. I couldn't imagine it.
Honestly, I just play on adrenaline. Obviously, the crowd and that gets you right up for it. Having your friends and family there as well help. Obviously, I've got the same ones that travel throughout. Obviously, my uncle Peter, United Gallen, and making the whole lot. They just travel all over, whether it's abroad or whatnot. They'll be there and support. It's good, man. It's and just to. Obviously,
watching it though, done at Christmas. It's like a Christmas thing, isn't it?
It's become a proper.
It's tradition, isn't it?
Like it's like
it is. Like
I think the Hearns have done like fabulous for the darts. You know,
yeah, it's brilliant, man.
People call like Eddie Hearn and that, but he knows what he's doing. Like, and he's put his on a pedestal now. Like
my kids,
just waiting for the Saudi darts to go on.
my kids, I mean, after like they wanted us way buying like a dartboard, and so I'm getting them a dartboard, stuck up in the kitchen. There's holes all over my walls, like. But that honestly, every day they're chucking darts. His mates is coming around. And it's amazing what you're doing for the sport, especially like on a local level, because obviously there was like yourself, Callum Raids, who's the other kid from plays in the White House?
Ryan Joyce.
Ryan, I mean, he was excellent last year, wasn't he?
He had a good year back end of the year.
That's some brilliant. Like, if you think 3 people. It's Maxwell is such a little area.
The northeast is just a hotbed of darts, you know. There'll be plenty more to come from the northeast to go on to the pro tour and that's for sure.
How often do you play outside of the comps?
So like local darts.
Just stand like wherever now your dartboard is, like wherever your setup is. How often do you just do it just to keep you kind of ticking out, keep your hand iron?
Thing is, I used to practice like every day, but I don't do that. Well, last year and the year before, I was playing a lot of darts, and you've got to have that time to yourself and that time off. So I still play local leagues. So whenever the Grand Prix, which is the double start one, I went back to my local leagues, which was double start, just to get that practice in, rather than stand and practice on my own. Because you could do that, and if I went to the board and started hitting everything, then there's no point in throwing. I'll just put them down, you know. So I still play Super League a lot. On a Thursday night, batting Ashton at the White House. So it's just you do about 3-4 hours a day, like when I'm practicing. But
Finishing
it's hard. It's hard to do. It's hard to do it
Finishing is
constant.
key, isn't it?
Well, yeah, of course, there's you can't.
That's what wins your games.
Aye.
Scoring for sure.
I
innit?
mean, you're on about that, you know, Dobey. You know, like you still you with the White House though at night. You know, like so. I was talking to Brad before. I mean, Brad still does that now, doesn't he, Brad? You still play for the local football team.
Aye.
It's to see, you know, like that's the great thing I think about the
Aye,
North
You
East.
know,
There's a
You never-
difference to a Melly.
What?
I play for my local football team. The difference is I never played for Man United. Chris Dobey played at the money off the lads due to that shit.
I'm getting the famous I do. You know what I mean? I'm getting the, you know, like because you're probably the same. You probably can't even go to the shop anymore. With probably somebody saying, "Yeah, oh, Dobey, can I have a picture? Can I have a signature?"
the good thing with being obviously a Bedlington lad, and I think obviously I still like play locally and stuff like that, and still like I never forget my roots, you know. And I think they treat us just as the kid I was, and the lad I've always been. So it's good when I'm local. Obviously, if you go out, you know, you can have the same conversation with 10, 15 different people. And that's the sickening part. But like I say, it's part of the job. They haven't seen you for as long as the other person hasn't seen you. But like I say, you've still got to have time for them. And the lads who I've knocked about with for years, obviously played football with, they still keep in touch. I sponsor the team Brad plays for, and also it's nice to keep in touch with the lads and still go up on Sunday mornings and watch them, and also.
That's been just one of the questions that we're going to put here is obviously, like we said, obviously how everyone's seen like Luke Littler like burst onto the scene. For you, it wasn't like a massive surprise, but for young kids and stuff that's wanting to like get like into like darts, like I said, like my kids, like they want the dart boards. There's probably thousands of other kids out there that done the same. Like, is it like just practice, or do you think it's like you've got to have like a raw talent, or is it like for anyone?
It's a hard one. Obviously, as long as you're enjoying it, and it doesn't matter if you're winning or losing. If you're enjoying it, that's the majority. That's the main thing. Obviously, if kids want to start as a Northeast Darts Academy at Blythe, I think that's on a Monday night. I think, and that's at the sports club, I think. But you know, there's so much. There's so much to come now. Like because of the likes of what Luke Littler's done, he's got all eyes on the dart scene, which is massive for us. And it's honestly, I wouldn't say so much for natural ability, because, like I say, when you're young, you could change your throw throughout the years. So as long as you enjoy it and stick to it, I think you've got a good chance to do well in it.
I seen somebody share a post the other day. You know, stand on the sidelines with our kids playing football for 15 years, or going to the pub and watch your young and chuck the darts. It's a lot more appealing. Well, listen, I'll tell you what, Brad. We said we're going to keep it till about 8:10, but I just want to know, mate, what are you doing now, and have you got anything in the pipeline?
Me? No. No, I'm not saying much, to be fair. I'm just trying to friggin'... I don't know what I'm at the minute where I'm like, don't know what I want to be doing, don't know what sort of path I want to go and doing. So at the minute, I'm just floating. But
do you get off the modelling contracts out like that? Because, you know, you're tanned, you've got bright, you're rich, you know, like you're a modelling agency's dream, aren't you?
Well, the thing is, like I said before, that sort of business, it's saturated as hell. So it's like, it's not all about, I think even in modelling, it's not about what you look like and this, that, and the other. It's who you can connect to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not mentioning names, but I know there's certain people that people probably wouldn't expect to be modelling, but because they've got such a high reach of, like, see on their socials, they've got a high traffic of people constantly looking. Businesses will be like, right, well, we'll put the stuff on him because there's this many people going to see it. And that's what it's more about now. So then and the social media it's never really been for me. It's never something, I've not enjoyed the social media side of anything since I came out. So it's kind of like coming out of the Villa, I kind of done it because it was there, it was different. But now I want to go back to normality. Like, I enjoy just going to work, having a routine, kind of, you do this and you get paid for it, sound. Like, and I didn't want to have to rely on.
You've got to.
I was going to say, if you can turn your hand, thin a few dozen minutes. Look at you.
It's like that though. The industry's like that, mate. And I think you're right. You've got the right frame of mind. You've just got to crack on with normality. And if it happens, it happens. It's as simple as that. You cannot rely on it.
Exactly that.
You cannot rely on it. But listen, Brad, we've took what time is it? 40 minutes of your time.
And I'll poor lad will be starving now, man.
Brad, honestly, mate, I don't know, mate, with this podcast, but what our aim is to eventually build up enough subscribers to get massive reach to ultimately, in the end, go out and help like homeless people who deserve it, like finding the good ones. And you coming on today has helped with that, mate. So I'm very grateful for you doing so, mate.
No worries.
Thank you very much.
If you stop talking about Man United, you'll get more followers, I know.
I don't need sport.
I'm a Man U fan.
Yeah. United. Johnny's getting. Thanks very much.
Hey, it's good to see you, Brad, mate.
Same to you, Chris.
All right, take care, pal.
See you later. Ta-ra. Bye.
Yes, Dobey. So, Dobey.
Yeah.
It was all right with you. We're going to run the ads, and then we'll come back and we're going to get some questions in, because I've got absolutely shitloads, but my mouse wasn't working, so it's charged now.
Just ignore Gallon, ignore Mick.
How did you do that? That's the
Nave getting beaten in Vegas, not like that.
Oh, no. Be back in 2.
And it's good night from me.
You going anywhere, Chris? Stay there. Doing it. These carpets and beds, laying our reputation one recommendation at a time. You can find us at 63 Station Road in Ashington, Northumberland, just over the station bridge near the council offices. Email sales@melliesbedsandcarpets.co.uk or call 01670 632216. We're also on Facebook. The best quality around at the cheapest prices. JB Glazing and Joinery Limited from Ashington and Northumberland, with serving all the surrounding areas, covering all aspects of double glazing, warm roofs and joinery. Call Gary during working hours on 07825 160 777, or you can find them on Trustpilot, where you'll find JB Glazing and Joinery with 5-star reviews. A1 Fire Stopping and Drilling Service, who specialise in installation and maintenance of passive fire protection, fire stopping and thermal insulation systems. You can email your query to martin.gallen@a1firestop.co.uk or call during work hours 07751 429 045. A1 Fire Stopping Services. Ashington Properties, whose company mission is to create high quality homes for the local people of Northumberland, and whose values are transparency, trust and loyalty. You can email them at ashingtonproperties@gmail.com or call during working hours to 07985 203 094. And finally, if you're wanting to look sharp, Musk Cuts down in Newbiggin, a top class barber, you can call him on 07519 077787. Always look your best when you get cut off Muzz. Welcome back, Chris. Thanks for holding up there, mate.
No problem.
Just quickly, while I get these comments up, obviously you're a massive Toon fan. You follow them home and away, whenever you can.
Massive respect.
Massive respect.
Because it's hard work, isn't it?
It's hard work. It's expensive.
It is. Takes a lot of your time and years.
So I hats off to you for that. Where do you currently? What do you find of the club late, like and Eddie Howe especially?
As much as obviously I'm a massive, obviously big fan, travel home and away. It's trying not to be too harsh on them. Obviously you want to stick by Eddie Howe, who's getting to where we are now. Obviously, we had won that season a couple of seasons, last season, getting into Europe. I think it was a couple of years ahead of ourselves, but I think that's cost us massively with injuries wise. And I just feel like this transfer saga, I think it's like the Mike Ashley all over again, not being allowed to buy players, and it's just it's hard. Like they're saying they want to get rid of big players to bring in other players, but you've got so many players there that they can get rid of before the big names.
I mean, I think they're on it with like potentially even scrapping FFP, and I mean, if that happens, then
in August,
the sky's the limit. I don't know if they'll scrap it completely, but what they're trying to say is like basically nobody can get anywhere near these other teams because of FFP, and it's right enough. We are, like homegrown players is the way forward. And if you look at Lewis Smiley for the tune, he's absolutely outstanding, isn't he?
He's brilliant. Get a little bit of slight weight about him, and I think he'll be perfect because obviously he's just a young kid. Once he strengthens himself up, I think he'll be outstanding.
Right, definitely agree with you there, mate.
No, what I was going to touch on that was obviously Richard Keys and obviously Andy Gray. They obviously do like the foreign side of it now, don't they?
Yeah.
So they're still like commentate and the punditry like on the English Football League. And what they were saying, which I thought was quite interesting, is like if the Premier League wants the best players in the world to be in the Premier League, they need to do away with this financial fair play. Because what's going to happen is these players the teams aren't going to be able to afford to buy them. Even though the richest teams in the world and the likes of Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, they'll come in, they'll cherry pick them, and they'll just take them away. And so you're gonna end up like a first division side, like because you're like totally stuck because you're trying to.
The trouble is, and now I'm from the northeast, and we know how great it is, right? But when you're attracting these big names, it's like they love London, like they love the capital, so prizing them away from there. See how we come up Newcastle. It's a hard enough task anyway. We'll boot that, I think.
It is. They're going to have to sort something because they cannot have the likes of Man City. I'm not being arsey about it, but the likes of Man City and Chelsea getting away with it, and small teams like Everton and Forest, they're getting obviously as much as what's happened with Everton. They've had points deducted, but to give them another deduction. I think before Chelsea, something happens with Chelsea. I just think it's silly, and they need to get it all sorted. Like
I'll be totally honest. So, like, I've never had like a really like a problem with a financial fair play. I think if you've got money and you can spend it, spend it.
Definitely.
Like if you can afford to attract the best players in the world to come play for your club, do it. Like Man United went through that era where they're constantly like won the leagues, they won this because they grew a team through the youth academy. We'll get that. And then they won it. Then they won everything for like 10, 15 years. But then Arsenal come through. Then Chelsea got a bit money. But the rest of the teams weren't that far behind them. Like, I didn't see how much you're changing because a lot of teams have got a lot of money. If
you're in the Premier League, you've got money, and
exactly,
it's definitely all these TV games. You get a certain amount of money and stuff. So you've just got to let them. The money's went mental the last few years, like transfer fees and everything. Man, it's just went silly.
Do you not just feel like the Premier League in general, though, they just seem to be getting like a lot of like the hierarchy decisions wrong. Like if it's like
He called them the small
refereeing,
clubs, didn't he?
it's not just this though. It's like the refereeing and everything. Like
I'd
they're
say
bringing
that.
VAR in and
The CEO. He called Everton the small club the other day when he was referring to them.
see
It's wrong.
it's wrong.
But it's anyway. Anyhow, ain't a hoot.
Obviously, he's getting rid of where we are now. I think you've got to stand by him and give him that chance, you know. And if he doesn't do it when he gets the players, if we're allowed to spend players, you've got to wait until he can bring them players in. He cannot work his magic with anybody, you know. And he's done well with the team we've had, the scratch team we've had, and I've read like stories of his trip here by I think Bayern Munich won him, and Joe Linton might have played his last game and stuff. And if that's the case, then if he wants more money, I think the club's not willing to pay what he wants. But if he's gonna be greedy now, we stuck by him and now we paid him for 40. We paid 40 million for him, and what he was like for the first 2 seasons we had him. If he's gonna drop onto a like what's gonna happen apparently, but then it's a bit shit really. It's you've got to stick by who's stood by you.
Would you take Mourinho?
I would. No, I think he'll attract big names, but
Do you
I think he's
the PIF will want though? Do you think they've been waiting for someone like that, or do you think?
I think that's fair.
Sure enough.
Oh, Dobey, we've lost you. Take you back.
Back. I've seen it there. I saw you've got Mourinho who has attracted big names in the past, but what he's done at his last couple of clubs, you know, he went to Tottenham and didn't do a great deal. But hey,
He went with Roma though, didn't he?
He's done all right, but
he won the Europa League with Roma, and then he got them in the Champions League.
You know what it is? Mourinho brings a lot of things, but he also brings a lot of unrest to the squad.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I think he'll say like Bruno's one of our main like players, our first team names on the team sheet. I think if he has one bad thing, he'll just drop him like that, and that'll ruin it. And you don't want that in the squad because they're the kind of players you need, and you need to work around them. And I think we're as a team now. I think we're at a decent level, and we've played.
I don't think
we've played together for a while, and I think obviously a couple of more bodies like as backup as well. I think we'll be all right.
I really like watching Newcastle. Like now when they've got the full team, I think the directs are brilliant to watch. Like from 2-3 years ago, like where you just sat back and got battered and then
as much as people like Carl and that, like I still want all the North East teams to do well, because just like I want you to do well, I want Brad to do well, because it shines we're in a good light, doesn't it? You know, like, but unless you're playing us, then
aye.
You know, like
no, that's on the truth, isn't it?
It is for me anyway. You know, like
same, absolutely.
I think my son's gonna probably end up supporting Newcastle by the soon of it. Like, right. We'll flick through these quickly. Amanda Webb says good evening, as does Sarah Whiteman. Brad's gone now, but Amanda Webb also said, "Ask Brad why you're not going back on Love Island All Stars." The answer
he's in love.
He's in love.
Kelly Dunn, Joyce McClelland was a legend. Remember Brad as a baby. Top lad Brad. Amanda Kelly Melly. Loads of Stella in the clubhouse fridge. Gaza says Gary Scurfield.
I missed training.
Like says Gallon. Good show, Melly. You guys need a heater. Yes, you're telling me we do.
No, I'm all right, man. I've got one between legs. I keep telling you.
There's your nemesis, Dobey. Right, of course. Dobey, lad. Billy Knowles, get in. Christ, does that Michael Coulson? I'll quickly come off that. Your Uncle Peter, you've seen you. I'd say now. Boom. I tell you what, you got to give a shout out to Peter and Dallin and make a name like
the follow
you relentlessly.
Like us, aren't they?
Well, Dobey, like the follow him, like across the country.
You even travel with an out-of-date passport one day.
Chris from Gary Mould says, Chris, do you think you should be in the Premier League tour? Good question.
To be honest, I think the standard-wise, I think I was definitely up there. Consistently as well in the later stages of the majors on TV, which is what you need to do. I think it's all about what you do on TV that gets you picked for stuff like that. And I was a little bit disappointed not to get picked, but I think look what they've done last year when they didn't pick Luke Humphries. Look what he's done this year. So that's in my mind. I've just got to prove them wrong, you know. And
1,000,000%.
Is it? Can it be kind of like a little bit of a what's the word I'm looking for?
Grudge.
No, you know, like when you're in the Premier League, can it be like a distraction to like could you be playing different tournaments and doing like better in them?
100%. I think a lot of people realise that as well. So I was playing the Premier League, which I had to be there on a Wednesday, playing on the Thursday. Then I was flying out to say Germany on the Friday morning to play on the Friday night. Play Saturday, come home on the Monday, and then I'll be at home on the Monday night and all day Tuesday before heading back on a Wednesday. And sometimes I was going into weekend tournaments, playing. Obviously, I'm playing in the biggest arenas in the world, you know, in the Premier League, and going into Barnsley Metrodome, you know, it's not the same on the floor. You can't get up. As for the games where I've been playing on TV, it is hard, but that's what I needed to sort out this year is me floor game to try and get myself. Doesn't matter if it's a floor or TV, you've got to stay focused and get up for them 100%.
People don't see that sort of side of it though, do they? They just think, like he'll be doing well for himself, like he's playing darts, he's like top of his game. They don't say the groundwork that goes in, like behind the scenes sort of thing, like what you're seeing there. They probably just think, he rocks up, plays darts, but you're away from like your family and stuff, like for days on ends, like traveling backwards and forwards to try and make things work. It must be really hard, like on your personal life as well, though.
It is 100%. Because my little one, he wouldn't even speak on FaceTime, so you've got to wait that week nearly to have a bit of time with him, you know, because he's murder when he's on his iPad. He'll just decline your phone calls and everything. He's at that stage, and like I say, being away for nearly a week and only seen him for one day, it is hard. But like I said, you're working for them and not just for you.
Yeah, you're wanting to bring the biggest prizes back. So when do we think we'll get a Chris Dobey World Championship? What are you predicting? I thought this year was your year, to be honest. Even in that match against Rob Cross, like when you were hitting, there was anywhere near them averages. It was unreal. But your darts started getting in at a different level, didn't they?
Yeah, honestly, I felt so.
I could see you getting frustrated. They were dropping, and you were
felt
gone.
So good leading up to this World Championships. Obviously, I know I'm playing well. I'm in good form, and just confidence about every time I step on that stage. I just believed I could win, and I genuinely believed it was my year this year. And
I did.
It's just one of them. It's just a little downward moment, a little setback in my career. And I've had plenty of them in the past, and I think the biggest setback was me defeat to Rob Cross in the match play, and I've come on to get better. Obviously, I won my first major. I got in the Premier League, won the opening night, and I've just took that step by step. And I think this is just a little setback, and we'll build from it. And it's starting in a couple of weeks' time, defending my title in the Masters.
What's your ambitions for this year?
Just to get comfortably out. I set my targets for the top 16 last year, so
anything above that?
I've reached that now. I'm at 15, so I wanna be pushing into them positions where you get picked for everything, you know. So say that by the end of the year, hopefully top 8, top 10. That's my little goal, and you've just got to try and better
Top
than
10 in
that.
the world, man, Chris.
Good
Kid
luck
from-
on that, mate.
A kid from Bedlington, you
Appreciate
know what
that.
I mean? It's
Uh,
you know what? And Paul Gallen says that, and he still managed to make a baby in between all that. You're not gonna believe this, right, Chris? You're actually not gonna believe it, and he'll probably be filming with us, right? But we had this planned, right, to end this little tag that we had with Mick Coulson coming in on StreamYard, right, and saying,
Have you ever
"Have you
been
ever been beaten in Vegas?" And he's messaging me, yeah, I knew, saying he's bottled it. Can you believe that? Like he said, mate, I bottled it. I says, no, how? He says, mate, honestly, I bottled it. I'm too shy. 2 cents. I says, how, man? He says, I can't get honestly, I'm shitting. Jesus. So
He's throwing darts on the stage in front of everyone, and Mick can't even come on there to see
Jesus. So listen, I'm gonna ask you, have you ever been beaten in Vegas?
once.
Has he actually explained how he beat us?
No.
How I put him out there for the show.
It was actually around the board, right? So you say you're round the clock, is what you've probably heard it as.
Aye.
I've had to hit the treble, the single, and the double before I move on to the next one.
Right.
And he just had to hit the single or the treble or the double. Right? He beat us on the bull. So I got all the way to the bull and he nailed it. So that was how he beat us.
But so he had 62 darts to hit, and he had 62.
It's honestly.
Sorry, lads, I've packed myself. You've got that on the move. Joey, that's worse than when I turned up with 5 a side and you come dressed as the mascot. You remember? Hey,
England mascot.
England mascot. Didn't he, Colin? He had a little clover on. Oh, he's going to get it. He's in, yeah.
Honestly, if we start 5 a side again, I'm getting a full kit for every time we play.
We should start it because I enjoyed that, like, and it's healthy for you, innit? You know, like.
Even if we do the 3G, you know, I fancy them new Predators. Like, they look smart. So if we can get a game on the 3G,
we should. I don't know why he's not.
How am I get it sorted?
It was McClelland that was sorting it, but it was a 1 week wonder.
They reckon there's a whack in football.
Top man Dobey says, Jill, get the book down. Martin Gallen says, my view card was over the moon, Chris, didn't get to the Premier League. Yes, that is Mr. Dobey. Anybody got a quick question for Dobey before we let him go? Listen, Dobey, you heard us say to Brad why we're doing this and why we're trying to build it up and stuff. So honestly, mate, thank you from the bottom of my heart. We've tried to get
not a problem.
Not a problem. We really appreciate you coming on, and we wish you the absolute best of luck, mate, going forward. You're not far away, and you know that. And everybody who's watching can see that your averages is amazing. Your character's absolutely fantastic. You're a very likable lad, and I just hope that that it comes sooner rather than later for you, mate.
I appreciate that.
It's the whole community. It brings everyone together, doesn't it? Like even people that I've noticed, like even people that's not like into darts or whatever, like you mightn't see it from like your side of it, but like the amount of people like that started talking about darts, they're gonna watch it, like the effect it has on everyone, like kids, families in general. Like keep it going, mate, because you're promoting it so well. Like just keep it going, and good luck. I hope you get your I hope you get that. Win it this year, mate.
Fingers crossed.
All the best.
A couple of just quickly, Chris.
No bother, not a problem, mate.
Come in there. Liam says that he hopes you're well. Liam Dodds.
Right, Liam, all right.
And Gary Mould has said, who would be Dobey's dream partner on the World Cup of Darts in the England team? We'll end on this one, Dobey.
I think obviously playing with them a lot up northeast. Obviously, I know a few of them will be thinking I'm going to say Nathan or Mike Smith and that, but I think Ryan Joyce, obviously because he's a North, I think honestly, no word of lie, I think he's the best double hit in the world. So on par, if he can get his scoring up a little bit, my scoring, his finishing, I think if we can obviously pull our fingers out the next few years, I think that'll be a perfect partnership.
Would that be the White House Massive?
I think I'll be struggling on a Thursday night if that happened.
Joey, mate, honestly, thank you very much, pal.
Oh, what
Not
a
a problem. Oh, no, but I'm not a problem.
very much, mate.
Cheers, pal. Take
All
care.
right, cheers.
See your
Take care.
family, mate. You do
All right.
better than that. Name
I appreciate
after
that.
you. Take care, Joey.
Good night,
Cheers,
Chris.
lads. Cheers,
Cheers.
lads.
Later.
Ciao, man. Bye.
Are you finished up? Wait.